Hey, this is Simone Mularoni from DGM, and you're listening to Rockfile Radio.
So please welcome back to my podcast and interview Simone Mularoni, guitarist, producer, songwriter for DGM. They have a new album coming out next week. Thank you for coming back. I hope you had a good dinner.
Thanks for having me. And yeah, the dinner was delicious. Quick and delicious.
It's morning here in Alaska. It's evening there in Italy. And I have to ask the most important question that's been on my mind for the last 4 years since we last talked. How are you liking the short hair? Because when we did an interview, that was the first time that anybody ever saw you had short hair. 4 years later, you still have short hair, so you must like it.
Yeah, and honestly, I always ask to myself, why didn't I cut them earlier? Because now it's so easy. You know, every shower takes like 2 minutes.
So much different than having
2 hours. Yeah.
I totally understand
they say
that.
Everyone says that they say that I look younger. So
how would you not, right?
Exactly.
So the new album is coming out on October the 18th. It's called Endless. You guys have been doing this for a while. How do you know when it's time to get back together and start working on stuff? Does somebody have some songs ready to go, or is it just like you have a schedule?
No, we don't. We don't have a schedule, because after every album, and as you said, it's been quite a while. And I hate music, like not only mine, like everything. No, I'm kidding. But especially my stuff, our stuff, because after I finish an album, it's so draining that I'm drained, literally.
Right.
So I usually take like 6 months where I don't even want to think about writing about it. And I always think, oh, this will be the last one, because it's too stressful,
The last one, right.
But mainly not. Yeah, mainly because, as you said, I'm producing and recording and all the other stuff, other than playing.
Yeah, that's more than just laying down parts, right? I mean...
Yeah. And usually the sparkle, it comes back every time after the first gig that we do together, because we live really far from each other, so we don't rehearse, basically. So if we have a gig or a tour, then we see each other and we do rehearsal weekend, for example, in Rome. And then you remember why you do this. Oh, okay, it's so fun to play with the guys. And then as soon as I come home, new ideas starts. But with this album, it was so quick because we basically wrote it at the same time as the last one. The initial idea was to have like a double, like one side being the heavy album, like the usual DGM style, and the other side being, the mellow, more acoustic. But then we had so many songs, so much material that the label suggests, no, why don't you treat the stuff you have as two separate albums? So that's what we did, but mainly we recorded all at once. So that's why the time span between the two was so short.
But fans love that. They're like, wow, another album already?
Yeah.
But listening to the new album, I don't hear much acoustic stuff on there. It still sounds like a DGM album.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, the strange thing is that Italian reviewers and interviewers, they were all shocked. Like, oh, you changed your style. We're used to the usual DGM. And to me, it's like, no, maybe I cut down the gain of the guitars, so we have less double bass. But the rest, yeah, it's like DGM, same melodic, same taste, I guess, same style. Maybe a few more like vintage, like Hammond or Mellotron here and there.
Sure, there's some new sounds in there.
Yeah, but I don't think you can change the style of a band. It's still us writing. So you can experiment with different sounds, as you said, and different ideas in the studio. But in the end, it's always us. So I don't see this big difference.
This is not DGM's, disco album.
Yeah, no. But the main difference is basically that we were a little bit tired and maybe bored about repeating the same formula, which was like, okay, let's find the heaviest riff and fastest riff ever, and then double bass following that. And then, the guitar keyboard duel with solos, that's been going on for like, I don't know, 15 years. So we tried, I bought an acoustic guitar for the first time in my life in my 40s. Yes. And like a real one, like a good one. And then I started playing a lot of acoustic. And then that's the main difference. Many songs started with acoustic guitar rather than the usual Symphony X ripoff riffs,
Now you're functioning as not only a guitar player and a songwriter, but you produce the albums and do a lot of the engineering. How do you decide how much is too much of you? Because like you're a great guitar player and we all love the guitar, but when you're in control, I'm sure you want everybody else to shine. How do you come to that balance of let's let the keyboards do this, let's let the drums, let's let the, that kind of thing?
Oh, okay.
Because you wear both hats.
Right, but I don't think the more I get old, probably I don't know if it's age or something else, but I care way less about guitar showing off nowadays rather than 10 years ago. Because I remember when I was mixing the first albums that I did with DGM, I had complaints all over by the other guys. Oh, turn down the guitars! Like I want to hear my bass more or whatever, And nowadays, it's really, I think I'm so used to do mixing album for other bands that I tend to see my bands with the same objective mind, that I have when I mix other people's stuff. It's not easy because you're involved, of course. Emotionally,
because you played that, you wrote it, Yeah.
But honestly, I never think about, the solo that I played in this song was too short and I have to do more. I really, if the keyboard part is so good, whatever. I mean, the song dictate what's there. But having said that, it's always fun, when it's my spotlight moment, for solos and whatever. So a friend of mine always tells me all the time, the time will come when you will write a song without a solo. And I'm like, no. Why is that?
Well, there are bands out there that have taken solos out of their music. A lot of them put them back in, but, I like a good guitar solo.
I think I always saw solos maybe in the beginning it's always like showing off your technique and whatever, growing up, of course. But now to me, they're part of the song. That's why I really care. To me, it's never like I improvise a solo just with some licks. I really take care of the section, and maybe it takes weeks, to find perfect notes and stuff. So it's really a song within a song, solo, being a guitar solo or a keyboard solo.
Well, and asking as a guitar player, I think like the solo on Final Call, you have a great mixture of some technical flash stuff, but then some slower melodic stuff and that to me that is beautiful. That's the wonderful ebb and flow of music, that you're not just going out there and I'm going to rip through this at 150 miles an hour.
And I think this is I'm going toward this style more and more, because when I was saying that Italian people was complaining, it's mainly because they discovered DGM with all the, like fast solos from beginning to end. And I, in the area, I've been like, oh, he's the fast guy, and now I'm playing more like Lukather kind of stuff sometimes.
Next album, we're going to be moving more towards David Gilmour. He's going to be doing just one note for like a minute.
Exactly. No, but I think, again, it's a matter of balance. If you find the right balance between the emotional parts and the fast, I think you nail it. So that's what I'm trying to do every time.
Well, like you said earlier, in the service of the song, if it elevates that part of the song.
Exactly. And one important thing is nowadays I think more about the live situation, because I found myself many times being live, like super, head down, super focused on the part. And I realized that I wasn't enjoying anymore. It wasn't fun because I was so stressed about oh, the next part is so difficult that I'm going to struggle maybe, and while if I play more from the heart, like from the soul, it comes naturally. It's not like that I have to struggle with 32 notes in a second, or something like that. You'll always have flashes, like you said, because
Sure.
those are fun, like the small blips, but again, balance.
So on the album, what do you like on it? I mean, what are some of your favorite songs off this album? We've only heard 2 so far, or at least everybody else has only heard 2 so far.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite is absolutely the last one, the long one. It's for various reasons, mainly because it was the first time that we approached like an epic, like 14 minutes or whatever. I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like 14, that's what it is to me, at least. And I always been inspired by the whole progressive, like especially, the Kansas suites, which are my favorite,
One
like
of my favorites, absolutely.
Miracles Out of Nowhere, all this Song for America, probably my favorite song ever.
Good 10-minute song.
Yeah. And I tried in my, little world compared to those idols, those gods, I tried to do something similar. So something that has like a beautiful, like acoustic intro with soulful vocals, and then it hits you in the face with the big riffs. And then it has some different elements, and also probably the longest solo in my life. Like the final solo is like probably 2 minutes.
Yes,
which goes against the whole balance.
Balance.
To go like, no, let's take this 2 minute solo in your face. No,
but that song does take you on a journey.
Exactly, and we also wanted to use that as a single, but it was impossible to. The video guy told us, guys, if you have budget for like a movie instead of a
video,
okay, so maybe not. But that is the whole band thinks the same. So I don't know if we'll ever play it live because it has so many layers and stuff, but that one is our favorite for sure.
It's an endurance test to get through something like that as a musician.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Really.
Exactly.
So what are the tour plans for this album? You guys didn't have a lot of time between the 2 albums, so.
No, well, and also we had some gigs planned that were canceled because we had some internal, like some personal issues with my singer family, like big problem. And now we're back in full force, and we're going to Japan the beginning of November.
Wow.
For our 3rd time, which is always exciting because Japan is like in a whole other world.
It is. It's a whole different place.
It's totally different. And then we have a bunch of shows in Italy, like beginning of 2025, and also Spain, but not like a big tour. Like we'll do like chunks, like 4 or 5 days, and then maybe Europe, and then. So that's it. Like we will try to play everywhere because it's been a while since we didn't tour extensively. Like hopefully in America too.
Well, being a fan, I pull out that Blu-ray every once in a while when I need a fix, and you got that Prog Power show and that other show. So, we need to bring you back to Prog Power in Atlanta, don't we?
Absolutely, we love. I mean, Prog Power is like a dream for every progressive band because the atmosphere and the vibe of that weekend or like week, it's so good. So I sent the album to Glenn, so hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, and I saw him post yesterday that he was talking about people want it in a bigger venue, and he's like, no, we create a vibe in this venue. That theater has been there for so long, and they've done it there so long, he can control all of it. And you're right, it's a mecca for musicians and musicians' fans to go and interact and meet you guys and see you play live and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we didn't tour like crazy in our career, but we played a bunch of shows, like probably hundreds. And even bigger shows. We played. I remember maybe the biggest was like supporting Scorpions in Belgium, and it was like 8,000 people. But to me, it's what I cherish most in my memory is like the Prog Power and Japan shows because they're special. And what you can tell as a musician is that people wait for your set. It's not there. Like, when you support bigger bands, you play in front of a big crowd, but probably like 5% of those people know you and they want to listen. The other 95 is like, oh, they're so boring.
Oh, there's a band. We're waiting. Bring out the Scorpions,
Exactly. While in especially prog power, we've always felt like the warmth of the crowd and especially those nights, the after parties, when you meet everyone and a lot of people. And I think I made a lot of connection there, even work-wise. Like for mixing, I met Ray from Fate's Warning and Nick from Redemption and all my friends nowadays, Tom from Evergrey, It's all coming from the prog power scene. So it's
all
great.
really nice guys too. I ran into Ray and Joey from Fates at a Queensryche show.
Oh,
dude, can I take a picture?
Great.
Yeah, they took a picture with me. They were really nice guys.
Ray is the best. Ray is the best.
So DGM, what else is planned for you guys? You now have another album in the can. You've got some tour dates planned. And like you said before, sometimes when you finish these, it's like, is this the last one? This is not the last one, right?
No, it's not, even because the label needs another one in the contract. So we have to. Jokes aside. And we actually, maybe it's the first time we already started thinking about the next one, but not about music, but about the method, because we would love to write the next album all together, which we never did before. It's always me in my studio sending ideas and then, arranging from here.
And then you get the vocals and you get the keyboards in and you mix it and you talk to them and you fix things and.
Exactly. But no, I mean the actual songwriting, like
to sit together in one place.
We never did that in 20 years. So it's a thing that it's recurring in my mind since the last year, because I know there will be a lot of fights, because it's always like that, like, oh, I want to do this. No, maybe a lot of fights, but I think it will be the really climax of the career of the band, because everyone like 20% each will contribute to the songwriting rather than me 90%, and then everybody, maybe I won't be able to do that because I'm always a control freak, but the starting idea is to do that, and the other guys are happy too, but the logistics is not easy because I need to drive 5 hours to meet the other guys, so it's not easy. But maybe after we play all the shows that we have planned next year, we will start, without rush, like starting and see what comes next.
Well, bands in the 70s a lot would go off. Iron Maiden or whoever would just go off and spend a month or two on a Caribbean island and write an album. Wouldn't that be nice?
That's my dream. I mean, the whole story, when I read all the books from everywhere, like Zeppelin and all of them, there's always a chapter when they book we rented a castle and whatever. But with our budget, maybe we can afford, I don't know, like a cabin in the woods or something.
We have plenty of those in Alaska. If you'd like to come up here and record an album, we'd love to have you.
That will be great. That will be great.
Hanging out with the bears and the moose and all that, it'd be creative, I imagine.
Absolutely. Why not?
So what are you looking forward to most about releasing yet another album? It's another baby into the world. When it, like opening day, do you smoke a cigar? Do you have a steak dinner? What do you do to celebrate when the new album comes out?
Actually, I forgot, because the next week when the album will be out, we'll be playing like an acoustic show, like a special acoustic show in Milan to do like a release party, sort of. And so we will celebrate all together, like probably with a few beers and steak, whatever.
Well, that's an awesome way to celebrate.
Yeah, of course. But usually I'm a little bit anxious about the release, because it's the first time that everybody, for me, the album is already old because I finished probably like 1 year ago. Mm-hmm. Not 1 year, but like 8 months ago. But it's the first time people is listening to the song. So I'm like, okay, let's wait for the first comments, And I always tend not to read online comments because I get bummed. You have like you have like 10 positive comments, and I think we're lucky. I mean, if you read the YouTube comments, usually they're
almost
nice,
all good, right?
But you always have that one. Okay, they suck, or it's the same.
You were so much better 10 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I learned how to play this. Come on.
So I'm always a bit anxious, and then every time I really hope that the album gets better. Not in terms of sales, because we're not like Metallica, and we're not caring about selling millions
Right.
But about spreading the music and the name of the band more and more. Like that's my main goal. So that's my hope with every album.
So here's a question I've never asked: why is it DGM? Why is that your name?
You want to know for real?
Well, I mean, if you want to tell us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sort of like embarrassing thing for us, because DGM are the initials of 3 names that founded the band,
Mm-hmm.
and none of them are in the band nowadays. So it's like.
So why not keep it? Now it's a mythical thing.
For years we've been like, even prior to me joining the band, they've been lying to everyone. No, DGM stands for, like, I don't know, like dragons, gods, and whatever,
guns,
like monsters. But lately I've been telling, okay, this is like Diego, whatever, the names that founded DGM. I mean, they only did one album together, like a demo or whatever, and then the lineup started to change. So, but the name stayed, and we thought many times maybe we should have changed the name when I joined the band, because the lineup was pretty much totally different. But it is what it is.
And now, we had 20 years later, you can't change it now.
Right. And also, again, I always said that I consider the DG, because a lot of people said, oh, DGM are going since 94, and it's been a long time. But to me, DGM is after I joined, because we're only playing the new songs. It's not that I'm regretting the old stuff. It's great, but we're totally a different band. So it's like, and I think listeners too, like, they're following the new incarnation of the band, and nobody ever asked us, why don't you play the song from 95 or 96? I don't even know them.
I can't imagine. But that's good. Thank you for telling me, because I've always been curious.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, good luck with the album. Like I said, it comes out on October the 18th. It's called Endless. There's 2 videos out now. Are there more videos coming?
No, we have like a sort of lyric video the day of the release.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we're still thinking about, we have to do something with that long song, like the sweet song.
You have to.
We have to, but we don't know what. So we'll see in the future. Maybe, I was thinking about like a live thing. I mean, the dream for us with this album is to play the album in its entirety. So I was thinking maybe like a live in the studio thing, where like Frost, my favorite band from nowadays, they did a lot of that. So
I just talked to Jim like 2 weeks ago. I had a great conversation with him. The new album is fabulous.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man, I would love to meet him, because I discovered them from my singer. He's always been a fan. And I always I don't think I like them. I don't know why, like a prejudice.
Huh.
And then he sent me a few albums like 3 years ago, and I completely
he's a genius.
And now it's like, I'm waiting for their new album. Well,
he said we needed to do another talk, so let's hook the 3 of us up. I will work on working. We'll get a 3-way going. That'll be fun.
I'm shaking already.
I'll reach out to him. He literally, when we had so much fun in our conversation, he goes, let's do this again. And I'm like, let's absolutely do this again. And now that we want to include you, that would be awesome.
I'll stay in the corner. And listen.
Dude, he's a lot of fun. It'll be great.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Good luck with Endless. I hope we see you live at some point, and I can't wait to play that 10-minute song on my prog station.
Thanks for having me once again. It's been a pleasure, and it's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Great.
Thank you, and have a wonderful evening. Do you have dessert planned after dinner this evening?
No, I have work to do. So it's like more bittersweet rather than dessert.
Well, thank you for taking the time, and good luck with the album.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Bye.